So welcome, friends, to this week's Presbyterian News article, not as an article, as a video. And I'm joined today by the Reverend Michael Gehrling, who's a minister member of our presbytery and works nationally with 1001 New Worshiping Communities. And we are here to talk about the Exploring Missional Leadership event that our presbytery is hosting here at the beginning of May. And there's a unique format to it. We're going to talk all about that. But first of all, give us the overview. Exploring Missional Leadership, what is this event in its kind of current iteration, and what makes this one a little bit unique from the other ones that you've done?
Yeah, thanks, Brian. So Exploring Missional Leadership is an event that 1001 New Worshiping Communities created after having a lot of different gatherings for new worshiping community leaders around the country, where folks would be traveling hours, sometimes getting on a plane to get there. And one of the things they would say to us was, boy, I wish folks from my presbytery could be a part of this, or I wish the leaders from my partnering congregation would be in on these conversations, or I wish my team could be a part of this. And so we recognized there was a need to bring some of our content into presbyteries and not just expect everyone to come to whatever conference center or hotel we were going to be at. So Exploring Missional Leadership is designed to be about a day-long training event where we look first at how new ideas, how new ministries get started faithfully. And then we, from there, look at how do we cultivate innovative folks, missional folks in our churches who will be inspired to try something new. Here in Pittsburgh, we're going to change up the format just a little bit. Instead of just being together for a whole day, we're going to try doing it over the course of 2 Mondays. So we're going to be together on Monday evening, May 4th and May 11th, both weeks from 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. with dinner included.
Yeah. And so one of the things that I think that format offers us is that part of this thing is the neighborhood exegesis piece. Tell us kind of about this format will be unique, especially for those of our folks who are currently in churches.
Yeah, so part of the Exploring Missional Leadership event typically includes an exercise that we call neighborhood exegesis, which is where we leave whatever meeting room we're in and explore the neighborhood around where we are, and explore with an eye toward asking the question, how is God at work in this place? And if we were to start something new in this particular location, what might we do based on what we're observing and learning? And for this event, since we're going to be gathering 2 weeks on the 4th and the 11th, this is going to be a homework assignment instead. So we're not going to explore around the Pittsburgh Presbytery offices, although I'm sure that would be interesting and valuable. But instead, we're going to have participants explore the neighborhood where their church is located. And so this will be an opportunity for you to get to know a couple of neighbors, get to observe your community maybe through a fresh set of eyes with some guided questions and exercises to do over the course of the week. And you'll come back and we'll talk together about what we observed and maybe what evidence we might see of God at work, maybe in ways that we hadn't noticed before.
So let's say that I am a pastor of an established church. We're doing pretty well, all things considered. Why might coming to the email be of a benefit for me and for my people?
Yeah, I often find it the case that when we do these EMLs, we'll have some folks from an established church come. Maybe it's even the people who are hosting and cooking lunch for everybody who's there and not even there for the content. But they often assume it's not for them or it's not necessary for them, but then they'll do neighborhood exegesis, or they'll see some stories of different new ministries that have been started in other parts of the country, and it'll unlock their imaginations a little bit about what's possible in their own context. The other thing I would say is, I think we all can kind of see the writing on the wall that we need to do a few things differently in our churches, even if they're not drastic changes, or maybe they are drastic changes. And I think all of us want folks in our congregations who might dream up of new possibilities or want to put some energy toward engaging our neighbors in new ways. And the EML is going to focus in part on the qualities and the competencies of missional leadership that we assess for in 1001 when folks want to start a new worshiping community, but really apply to starting any kind of new ministry. And we're going to talk about how do you cultivate and build those qualities and competencies in the people who are sitting in your pews.
So one of the things that will often happen here at the Presbytery is that churches become really desperate to make change, often at the point where they can't make change anymore. And so I'll get calls where people will say, Brian, we really want to invest and engage in community or families in our community that have kids. And my first answer is, well, how many kids are in your congregation now? And they'll say none, right? And I do think there is a worthwhile lesson for us to consider that often when we most need to be exploring the innovative and new is when things feel the most stable and steady. And no, we're good. We don't need to worry about that new stuff. No, we're fine. You shared earlier that some of the stories that come out of this come from churches at the end of their life cycle. And I really liked what you had to say about you don't have to wait. Could you say a little more?
Yeah. So many of our new worshiping communities, especially in the past 5 to 6 years, like really in the post-COVID world, have been new worshiping communities that have started out of closed churches. A church might close, and the presbytery might look at the building or see where it's located and think there's still something else to be done in this place. And so a task force or a committee, classic Presbyterian way of discerning, right, gets together and maybe there's a few creative folks on it, and they have a reimagined way of how that church building might be used. And every time I show those videos, I tell folks, you don't have to close to reimagine how to reuse your building, right? There's all kinds of ideas, and one of the things that we're going to talk about is not just reimagining how we might use our building or engage our neighbors by doing that imagination work ourselves, but also how do we convene our neighbors to imagine with us? Because there are all kinds of new ministries, I believe, waiting to be unlocked in our churches if we just get to know our neighbors who aren't yet part of the worshiping community.
Wonderful. So on May 4th and 11th from 6 to 9 p.m., you can come just yourself. You can bring a team from your church. You said earlier, better to bring a team, but if no one else wants to come, just come yourself.
That's right.
And we hope to see you here. You can bring as many folks as you want. The Innovative Ministries Commission is picking up the tab for dinner, and we will gladly buy dinner for as many people as want to come. I think to close, just one thing that I want to add is one of the things that has really struck me in doing this work with previously New Worshiping Communities Commission is we don't know until we try. And sometimes we in the church are risk averse. We tend to be very kind of traditional and focused on the way that we've done things. And to me, what this sounds like is a great opportunity to think through and maybe think differently.
Absolutely. I think one of the beautiful things about the new worshiping communities movement in general, especially over the past decade, is the way we start is a lot less expensive than what the old new church development model was, where you buy a property, build a building, hire 3 staff. The reality is, this is the gospel, right? Yeah. The kingdom of God is like a mustard seed, right? The kingdom of God is like a sower scattering seeds. Seeds are small, and sometimes the most faithful and the best innovative projects are things that start small.
Right. We hope to see you on May 4th and 11th.